Do you ever come home from a hectic day and just want to put on some quality headphones, dim the lights, and escape into another world? Do you spend your days casting souls into Sheol like Russell Crowe in Gladiator, so when you come home, you just want to enjoy a story about two squirrels falling in love and a subsequent montage about their great grand squirrel's thriving acorn empire? Maybe you spend your days working on a 3,000-degree roof and wonder if the paycheck is even worth it after taxes and child support gets taken out. You come home after work feeling physically, emotionally, and socioeconomically defeated. Your skin's drier than beef jerky, your knuckles have cracked open, and you're ready for a vibe shift. Is that an ice cream truck or just another mirage? Well, insinuate my lack of intelligence and call me May, because boys, we got a game for you. Listen. This game is great, but before we get into the details, I'm going to give you some practical advice about how you can have a good time with this game and others like it.
The art of the vibe shift.
Step 1, dim the lights. You gotta dim the lights. Doesn't have to be pitch black, just has to be dim. Maybe there's a light on in an adjoining room, maybe the hallway light is on, maybe you have all the lights off except one, just make it dim. Trust me, I'm a scientist. The dimness is really going to help transport you to another world. It's basic math. That's why movie theaters are dark. If they were lit up, you'd be looking at bubblegum the whole time. Step 2. You're going to want to get some quality headphones, preferably with surround sound, but at least with stereo sound. You don't want some raggedy Fisher-Price My First Pair of headphones. You want some Sennheiser or some Logitech or some other reputable company that makes great headphones. Personally, I prefer over-the-ear headphones because I feel like I get the most encompassing sound that way, but you do you. If you're not able to get headphones, then you could substitute that with a quiet room and the TV speakers turned up a little and tell people to leave you alone for at least an hour. Step 3. Turn your phone on silent. That means no notifications, no vibrations, no sounds, nothing. We know the whole internet is screaming at you all day long. We're all just one tap away of finding out just what is your dog really thinking. You can go an hour without sticking your head into the undying void. Your nose will not fall off, I promise. If you're waiting for an important call, you probably shouldn't be playing video games in that particular moment anyway.
I never said I was your real dad.
Step 4. Get set up for success. Get you some cold water and an additional tasty beverage of your choice. Set it up to avoid spills. Use the bathroom beforehand. Position your body comfortably with wide angles to allow proper circulation. Use pillows or a blanket if needed. I believe it was Soren Kierkegaard who said,
"You can never be too gangster for a blankie."
The goal is to minimize distractions. If you keep having to reposition yourself, your focus is broken. If you keep having to get up to get a drink or use the restroom, your immersion will keep breaking. Side note, you're a human, so you will have to get up sometimes, but if you're not able to immerse yourself in the game for at least 20 minutes before getting up, you're probably not getting the full effect that we're going for. If you live with people, I would recommend giving them a heads up that you're going to try to play this game for at least an hour, so if they need anything from you, they should talk to you before or after that hour. That's another good way to get set up for success. I could go on, but that's a solid strategy for enjoying this game. It's the kind of game you want to be immersed in when you need a vibe shift. The game is about 2 to 4 hours long. 2 if you're rushing through everything, and 4 if you're taking time to enjoy the art and smell the roses. You should definitely not rush through this game. You should definitely smell the roses. Even with its short length, the game is more impactful, evokes more feelings, and provokes more thought than most 8, 10, or even 30-hour games. This vibe shift may just be the remedy your brain didn't know it needed. This video may contain minor spoilers, but it's really the experience of the story that you're looking for, not just knowledge of what happens. The game has a lot of amazing aspects, but we're just going to focus on 5. The first is its introspective and self-reflective nature. Introspection can be defined as looking inward at your own thoughts and emotions. Self-reflection is looking inward in a more broad sense about your behaviors, choices, and your place in the world. In the right context, these can both be fascinating concepts and nourishing activities. This game is dripping in both. Almost every character in the game is looking inward in some way at some point. Ina does this the most as she stands at a pivotal moment in her life, having to make decisions about her present while reconciling the past in her mind and pushing forward to create and accept a future which may not be ideal, but is certainly better than being locked up in a tower. Experiencing these things in the game has a natural inspiring effect that can easily cause the player to look inward at themselves and at their own place in the universe, something everyone can benefit from. The second aspect is the game's positive and beneficial message. It has something to say, but it's not preachy or political. There's some real wisdom built into the architecture and bones of the game. The message is so simple, positive, and profound to the point that the potential for a beneficial effect on the player is almost undeniable. Ina awakes to the wreckage of a disaster. She doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know why it's going on. All she knows is that she needs to get moving. She needs to push onward. She comes to the realization that she's been a captive. She doesn't necessarily know why she was captured or for what purpose she was kept in a sleep-inducing chamber. All she knows is that she wants to be free. She needs to be free. And so she pushes onward to find an exit and escape. Along the way, she makes sacrifices, takes risks, puts herself in uncomfortable situations, not because she wants to, but because she has to. On the deepest level of her being, she knows she must be free. Therefore, any obstacle is something that must be overcome and will be overcome rather than a discouraging setback. There's only one way to go for her, and that's forward. In a lot of ways, her journey and struggles are representative of the winding roads we find ourselves on in real life. Sometimes we wake up to something terrible. Sometimes we don't know what's going on and we just have to get moving and push on. Sometimes we realize we've been captive to something for too long and we need to escape and break free, no matter what the cost. Sometimes we have to make sacrifices, take risks, and put ourselves in uncomfortable situations, not because we want to, but because we have to. The tireless river of life will not stop rolling past us, and at some point, we have to learn to swim. Sometimes we create our own prisons, and the freedom we desperately thirst for was available to us the whole time. Sometimes our knee hurts for no reason, and tomatoes are out of season, so our pico de gallo tastes like treason, and no amount of cilantro is going to fix that. The third aspect. It's beautiful, inspired artwork. The deciding factor for me about whether or not I was going to buy this game was the artwork on the store page, specifically this shot of the creature right here. Having finished the game, I can tell you that the artwork, which at first glance seemed to be beautiful and inspired, was in fact beautiful and inspired. As a person who has experienced a lot of art in different forms for a long time, it can sometimes be easy for me to tell if something is inspired or not. What I mean by that is that some art is just cranked out because of an expectation, and some art is made because the artist really had something within them that they wanted to get out in the form of art. The game's artwork is often beautiful, inspired, dark, moody, atmospheric, perplexing, colorful, radiant, and curious. It sometimes leads the player to ask questions. It sometimes leads the player to feel empathy. It sometimes leads the player to simply listen. More than anything, it creates an immersive world worth escaping into, and I earnestly encourage you to do so. The fourth aspect, its sound design, immersive ambiance, and music. Everything about the sound design is very focusing. It's not distracted or cluttered. Every beautiful echo hones in on the actions of the player. The sound design work together with the narrative to reflect not only on Ina's life, but also the sounds of her actions as they echo and reverberate off the old and mysterious machinery that runs the tower. There is a consistent ambiance that is immersive and enjoyable. Some sections have music so slow that it's barely even there, yet it still provides an appropriate mood. Some sections have no music, but still provide a rich soundscape from the lonely echo of Ina's interactions with the robots, characters, power stations, water droplets, old machinery, crumbling environment, and various other things throughout the tower. The music is some of the best I've heard in a video game. Coming from somebody who crawled out of the tunnel ladder in Metal Gear Solid 3 on PS2, that means something. The music swells in and out of the foreground like perfect choreography. Ina sometimes goes through transitional sections where the music becomes the main focus and the player gets to take in gorgeous visuals while listening to beautiful swelling music as Ina travels from one section to another. During these sections, parts of the beautiful scenery contain shiny, mirror-like objects that reflect Ina's image back to her. Thematic elements of reflection are unavoidable and welcome. The fifth aspect. The game teaches you how to play the bagpipes because Aunt Linda has arthritis, so I think it's your turn to walk the dog. What? Anyway, the fifth aspect is its finely tuned gameplay. It's based on problem solving and troubleshooting. It requires critical thinking but never reaches a point of artificial difficulty. At no point does the game become unreasonable or punishing. I'm not a puzzle game fan, but I still enjoyed the light environmental puzzles this game has to offer. The amount of time it takes to solve them is about the amount of time you would expect to spend solving a problem in real life if you ever found yourself trapped inside a dream harvesting tower. It feels fair, it feels good, it feels balanced and finely tuned. When you finish an area, you know you figured it out, you know you earned it, and you know you didn't spend 5 hours in a single area because of artificially inflated difficulty. I would say this game is on the lighter side of difficulty, meaning it's not very hard, and that suits the vibe and narrative of the game well. It's clearly meant to be a pleasant experience, and to say it succeeds in delivering that experience would be a monumental understatement. This game taught my grandma calculus, which is impressive because she's dead. In conclusion, over the course of 3 or 4 gaming sessions, this game provided me with a refreshing and stimulating vibe shift that captured my attention, filled me with wonder and curiosity, and left me feeling introspective and impressed. The game is not expensive, it is not difficult to play or acquire. There are basically no roadblocks between you and this game. So if you need a vibe shift away from that one person at work, or your neighbor that won't stop doing that thing, or if you just need to forget about your day, Aspire Ina's Tale is an excellent vibe to be absorbed in. Thanks for stopping by. Interaction with the video helps me a lot, so please tell me in the comments something you've been playing recently and if you've been liking it. Alternatively, you can tell me what you had for lunch yesterday. If you're feeling froggy, don't forget to smash that lily pad. I hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching. Peace out.